What is up, guys? I'm Dusty Grant, the host of the DG and Friends podcast. I'm excited to take this ride with you as I get to know interesting folks from all walks of life and pick their brains about their journey. I'd like to sincerely thank you for tuning in. DG and Friends starts now. What is up, guys? Dusty Grant here. Episode 13, lucky number 13. I have my friends, guitarist Jason Catlett, drummer Clayton Gossett.
We are here. That cue card, right?
We are here with the members of Parallax.
What up?
What's going on with you guys today?
Nothing. We just got done watching Glassjaw on YouTube.
It's killer.
Just got done watching Glassjaw music videos.
2001 live performance.
2001 live. Do you remember what those
Were
live?
you even born then?
2001?
Yeah.
I'm 39. I was born in 1981, sir.
Clayton was born in the same year.
I was.
Was he? Are we the same age?
I don't know. I turned 40 in 2 days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're about the same age. I turned 40 March 10th.
Oh man.
So you tried
we
to.
look glad you are.
I just look young. It's all that healthy living that I do.
Are you really bald, or are you just rocking that hairstyle because it's sexy?
I'm really bald.
Right.
It started going south. I don't know, when I first married my wife, we were down in Nicaragua and I got like a really fancy haircut. And I noticed that I was having to like move shit around to make it look cool. And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm gonna get rid of this. And I've tried to grow it out again just to see. I let it go for like 2 weeks instead of just 1 week, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
that is not going to work. Yeah, so male pattern baldness is a big topic on this show. it happens to the best of us, man.
I'm here with you.
Are you just doing it because it looks cool, or are you also fighting the good fight?
I'm not fighting anything. I accepted it a long time ago, man. I don't know. It ain't a thing to me.
That was it for me. Like a lot of people, I think a lot of people are like, did it just totally bum you out, dude? Yeah. And I'm like, I really didn't even think twice about it. I really didn't give a shit. It's fine. It looked stupid anyway. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, Callie, you got rid of yours too. You did the mature. You used to have long hair. When I first met you, you had long ass hair.
Oh yeah.
Great.
What made you cut it off?
It was down to my ass. I got tired of combing the shit. The only time I ever let it down was when I played shows, because that's when it looked the fucking coolest.
Yeah.
Motherfucker was buying Pert Plus by the gallon.
Well, that's one thing that I've always wanted. Like, especially when I was doing metal bands, I'm like, man, I just want to grow my shit out and like thrash about with it.
That's how I am now. Like whenever I see videos of me thrashing out now, I look like I just have this long ass giraffe neck headbanging and shit.
Well, yeah, because you could almost use you could almost use the hair as like a prop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You could whip that shit around and it was like, dude, that guy looks badass. And people, I remember seeing pictures of you playing at like the Cotillion and stuff, and it'd be like
open one. He's got the big sexy hair and everybody's like, that guy's fucking killer.
Yeah, and you're back there on the drums doing all the real work, and no one appreciates you.
Douchebag. He's got a bald head.
Too much gear. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, man, it'd be sweet if I could just grow out even like a 70s like shag type situation, where I wear like a trucker hat and try to look cool, but it's not gonna fucking happen for me.
Just do a skullet, man.
Yeah,
you can grow it in the back, right?
Something tells me that at work people might say stuff to me. I work in an office. I'm in a sales guy, and I have a feeling if I roll up in the skullet one day, they're gonna be like, "Really, bro? Is that what you're going with? This is a professional environment." It looks like we got some people tuning in. Hugo from Ether is here.
What up?
Matt Baller is here. Guys, if you're out there watching the show, don't hesitate to ask questions in the comments for Parallax. They've got a lot of stuff coming up, so why don't we lead into that a little bit? What's going on with Parallax? Tell everybody what's up.
You want me to tell them?
Yeah, go for it. No, that's why I brought you here. I made you do this shit with me so you could talk.
365 days without playing a show or some shit. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, you guys are doing your album release.
We've been
very soon, correct?
Yeah, we should have released it like 3 times, but we just kept recording it and re-recording it and doing it again because you couldn't play, So
when did you start with the record?
The first time,
man, some of these songs we were playing versions of some of these songs in 2019 at some point.
yeah, our last couple shows.
I think we started recording. We recorded, so we pre-pro'd everything first, and then we ended up actually tracking the whole album. I guess probably in look, Nick's here. Nick, let the hazing begin.
Oh, look at this guy. You know this guy.
So yeah, we started recording the album, I think I want to say March or April or something like that. And then by the time we got all the way to the mix, we decided to re-record the whole album again because we didn't like the way one of the toms was sounding.
Really?
Yeah, and we weren't going to replace it because we didn't use any drum replacement or any samples or any shut out on this recording. So we just were like, well, that's fucked up. Let's just redo it. So we bought a bunch of new mics, new amps and shit like that. And we just started over, and that's the version that we have now.
So when you guys are practicing, this is something that I've always thought, I'm like, man, if I was in a band with Jason, that'd be pretty sweet. He's got a studio and shit. We could just go in there and practice and be like, oh, that was a cool idea. Let's track it. I've never been in a situation especially in a band where it was that, so do you guys always rehearse at the studio and all that?
We do.
Oh yeah.
But even before Jason had the studio, that's been like standard procedure, man. You just pop out the recorder and record practice. We've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, it's just like the quality that you have from your demos now is probably just fucking amazing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, and it's quick and easy setup because it's all there. It's,
It's weird, like something that I've been noticing lately, especially, is like when I'm trying to do demos for my stuff, if I just do a cell phone recording versus like if I sit down and just do like one or two tracks on Audacity or something like that, the idea seems to stick with me more when I have a better recording of it. And then when I send it to somebody else, it's easier for them to kind of get an idea of what I'm going for, as opposed to me, doing a shitty recording in the bathroom or something.
It ain't out of our spectrum either to phone record, dude. We videotape our practices a lot just because it's like, it's quick, it's on the spot. The new iPhones have crazy good cameras and audio, so it's like we capture riffs all the time. And
I have a list of, like, on my phone, I've got a little voice recorder, and the audio is not great, but a lot of times, like, if I come up with an idea while I'm driving or something, I'll just pop it out, throw it on there, take it home. But like most of my demos, most of the time it's all cell phone recordings, but I think I'm going to try to get into it as I start to understand the equipment a little more. I've come a long way learning this computer because, like you guys, I haven't been able to do shit. I've been making podcasts.
Raps are on there too. I pop out the recorder and bust out some freestyle.
I don't believe you. Let's see you do it right now.
I can't. I don't rehearse under pressure.
That shit is not true, man. You could give him a topic and he'd fucking spit some shit. It'd be foul as fuck, but he would do it.
It'd be really fun. So we have some questions. Matt's wondering who influenced you guys to start playing music.
I thought we weren't asking these questions.
We weren't asking these. I don't ask these questions, but a lot of times the people that are tuning in like to know this stuff. So
Matt already knows one of them. I'm a fucking huge Limp Bizkit nerd. I mean, like,
same.
Super Biscuit.
Super Biscuit.
And then there's like Dimebag Darrell, Pantera, Dillinger Escape Plan. Those are probably my three big ones.
Honestly. You've always been a metal guy, right?
Definitely. It was like hard rock and shit like that got me into playing guitar. I mean, honestly, when I was 13 and I wanted to start playing guitar, I was listening to Def Leppard and Poison and shit like that. So I kind of started with hair metal and eventually worked into the grunge Alice in Chains shit, which took me to Slayer and Pantera and Sepultura. And
I had a similar path as well. How long have I known you, Jason? I met you. Yeah.
So it would have been 10 years, close to 10 years, 9 or 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time because I think the first time I ever talked to you, Clayton, finish with your influences, please. I just cut you off. I'm trying to be a professional here, and I just completely blew it.
Jason's a couple years older than me, and I feel like our influences are really close, but I didn't get as much classic rock and stuff. I didn't really get into classic rock until later. And then you're talking about hair metal and stuff. It was probably later for me, dude. I grew up with my mom, and we listened to Meatloaf,
Hall & Oates.
Yeah, dude. You know, I'm
dude.
still to this day, I still love pop music. I mean,
I'm the same way. I grew up in a family, and with my mom and my sister were the people that listened to music with me. So I was listening to like Janet Jackson, Hall & Oates, Steve Winwood, you know, stuff like that. And that was my mom's jams. And now I hear them, and I'm like, I can kind of dig on this shit. I
mean, when I got Pantera's Far Beyond Driven, it was definitely a fork in the road. You know, I was 12 or whatever, and that was a game changer, man.
I think a lot of guys our age have the same story, or maybe just the three of us, because like I know the first time that I heard Vulgar Display of Power, I think I was 11 or 12. I'm not exactly sure how old I was at the time that I heard it, but I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is way angrier than that other garbage I've been listening to.
I mean, I liked Nirvana. I loved Stone Temple Pilots, man. Stone Temple Pilots were huge for me too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. The grunge era was like, I think anybody our age, the grunge era has to be.
I can also rap the entire Vanilla Ice album. So I mean, I am your standard fucking white kid from the metro area. You know, I mean, I'm
the same exact thing. We have a lot in common there, because I've got a lot of hip hop stuff, and I think sometimes it surprises people. Like I was on the road with Buana and Shane, and I think we were listening to like DMX, or we were listening to, you know, something like that. It's like, I remember this shit, and I knew every goddamn word to that song. I'm like, I haven't heard this for 10 years, and I remember every goddamn word. And they're like,
for me, it would be like West Side Connection, man. I could knock all their albums out of the park, word for word, man.
The first West Side Connection, "What the World Is Mine," dude, that first record, I that's like the soundtrack to like a year of my high school, you know, like when I first got my car, West Side Connection came on, trying to pick up chicks. See, even Dave's going to come in and make you answer the question.
I can answer this one for Dave. So Nick, if he had his way, he would just say "Baby Ruth" the whole time through every song. You know, he's got these giant cheekbones, and I think it just comes naturally for him, you know. I'm just kidding, man.
Let the hazing continue. The hazing continues.
Oh, Nick is still here. Oh,
he's the new guy, right?
He's the FNG, man.
Yeah. So does he write all the lyrics, or do you
dude, he's
part in that?
He's deep, man. He's got like so he had an entire concept for the whole album. The whole album is a concept, and it's really intricate, and it's really like personal to him, and it's
there he is with an idea.
This is only news to people watching. I already knew this, so I already knew you hated me, Nick.
Yeah.
No, man, he's got it all figured out. And that was really nice for us. I mean, we had songs. We were wanting to do something with them, and Nick came in just like loaded with lyrics and concepts, and he made it all formulate, and it was quick. That's
got to be refreshing when you're trying out a new member. Well, I've never had that happen.
It wasn't even like refreshing. We just had really good chemistry. He just, man, I don't even know. He has a natural ability to create a hook, and you know, he spits it out quick.
Well, a lot of times, like how many guys did you audition? Did you audition a bunch of people, or did you know? I mean,
seriously, probably 3 or 4.
Yeah,
there was probably 6 or 7 that messaged. Or
we had 4 guys come in. Well, maybe 5. We had 1, 2.
Dude, we
had 3 in my studio, and then one guy actually sent me some files through the internet. But we literally gave them pre-pro tracks of the song of one song, you know, and then we'd have them write to it, and then have them come in and be like, okay, record it. Instead of them coming in and jamming with us, we wanted to see what they could do in the studio, because we're always in the studio working.
Right.
That was a really huge deal for us, and it was tough, man, because there wasn't anybody like.
Dude, we'd never had that situation in our life.
Like, everybody that tried out was great, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was nobody bad that tried out at all.
That is a shock to me.
It was insane, man. Yeah. I mean, everything we heard was cool.
Yeah.
That thing right there is the reason I'm solo.
Searching for the right guy.
Yeah, because I remember in the Empire Falling days, we would bring people down. And at that time, we were so sick of looking for drummers that I bought a drum set and I learned how to play drums. I'm like, fuck it, I'll play the drums and let's go record some stuff. And so I'd bought drums. I started taking lessons. I learned how to play drums. And then I started playing for Empire Falling at first. And it was just me, Wes, and John. And so when we were auditioning people to drum, they'd be like, if you can't out drum our singer who's been playing for 7 months,
7 months,
you're not in the band. You know,
no doubt.
We had guys come over that were, it was literally like they'd never picked up a fucking drumstick in their life before. It was like, hey guys, let's run these 2 songs that we sent you. And they're like, which one is that? Like they hadn't even listened to the tracks that we sent, and then they drive across town to come try out for a room full of guys that take it pretty seriously. And it's like, dude, this is 5. They were there 5 minutes. You know, they pick up their stuff, and like me, John, and Wes would take turns firing people. Oh. They'd be like, it's your turn. They'd be like, it's your turn to tell this guy no. It's your turn.
With Nick, we had basically Nick got the job, 1, because he was Mr. Eager Beaver, but 2, because he's just so versatile. You heard the album, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we tried out this one dude, Oscar, and he's like the heaviest motherfucker ever. I mean, he would have made Parallax the most
death metal band ever.
And he's super awesome, and he was cool as fuck. But you know, when it comes down to it, did we want to only go that direction? We didn't want to. We fucking like Limp Bizkit and shit. So
the dynamics are. I think the dynamics are there with this new stuff a little bit more than some of your older stuff. I can be completely honest with you. You know, I like you guys, but like before, sometimes I would listen to stuff and I'd be like, that's almost like solving a math problem.
Yeah, that's Catholic, man. That's Catholic. I straightened this motherfucker out. So it's such a weird thing for me because I wish I had 1/1,000,000th of the skill that Jason has on the guitar. You know what I mean? He's a fucking phenom, and it's really just because he doesn't know how to count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he counts like 1, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 9. Dude, 3,
it's funny
5, 1.
It's funny that you say that because I was curious, like at knowing very little about drums. Okay, I'm by no means a great drummer in any stretch of the imagination, but like, how the fuck do you keep track of where you're at?
Some of the old, so like when I joined the band, because I'm not. I guess I'm the second oldest member now. But when I first joined, I was nicknaming songs too many. I would remember it because it was too many. You know, if it was too less, it would groove, but it didn't groove. It had too many beats in it, and you know, and I had such a hard time. Like they had this one, I can't remember. I think it was Wooden Coat Mentality. Jason wrote the drums on the computer, and he like ixnay everyone else from being a part of it. And he wrote this entire disastrous math problem.
I wrote it and we recorded it. Chris Dawson actually mixed it when we didn't have a drummer. Like there was a point in time. Actually, that song was written as a Continent of Ash song. I think it
was a Continent of Ash song. I got that on my phone.
So I joined the band. He's like, "Hey, can you play this?" I'm like,
"What? Who fucking can?
Let me get some graph paper."
It blows my mind the way you guys move around because all my stuff is 4, 2, 4.
I mean, I feel like the new Parallax is much more. You know, I have a desire to play groove a little bit straighter. I don't mind some math metal here and there, but
you guys did good with that because it's very chaotic. You know, it has that feel that is your guys' thing, that chaotic feeling. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that, but it's my fucking show, so
that's
whatever.
Right. That's right.
But I like it, that chaos is there, but I feel like it is more accessible for you guys, and I think that will translate well because there's no part of it that feels bubblegummy or disingenuous or not authentic. You know, it all feels really authentic and it all seems to tie together really well. So I would compliment you guys on that, especially knowing that you guys didn't use any triggers, programming, replacements, stuff like that. Like that is commendable. You know, I can certainly appreciate that. And I think this one's going to do good for you guys.
I hope so. We've been sitting on it for a while.
I know. We're like already over it. Let's record more.
Yeah. Dude, isn't that weird how when you have music coming out, like I think a lot of people that don't put music out may not understand the time consuming process that it is to get everything lined up for a release. And we're both going through that right now, obviously, because you guys have a single coming out Friday. I have a single coming out Friday. But I've been like, you know, lamenting over this thing and building it and putting all the pieces in place and all this for months. I've had the master for 8 weeks or 9 weeks or something. I've been sitting on it. I'm like, I'm sick of this fucking song. nobody else has even heard it, you know?
So man, the song is half the battle. You got art and you got everything else to go with it. You got to have some band photos. You got to have some video content. You got to.
Do you guys delegate all that stuff out between the band, or do you have like one person kind of handling it? Or I
mean, Jason's got giant hands on it all, you know, and he's 100% the graphics guy of the band.
Of course, so
anytime we have an opportunity to take a little bit from him, we do. It's hard, you know. I mean, he's over here. You can't see the computer beside the computer, but he's working on the artwork and layout for a vinyl that we're going to try and have made. So
and then like it's such an advantage for you guys to have a sound engineer, graphic designer, you know, who also happens to be a decent guitar player.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
You know what I mean? Like you've got that, and like I'm a one-man show, so I'm doing all that stuff myself, and I'm finding like when I release music now, the thing that I'm most like, I'm not even concerned about what people think of the song anymore. Yeah. I'm more concerned, like, is this link going to work? Am I going to remember to feature this video here? Am I going to remember to feature this video there? Am I going to remember to tie this link up? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? Is this all these fucking parts that go into trying to create like this congruent thing?
Yeah.
Is it going to work? You know? It's like this time, like the last time I released a song, I had a major hurdle with Facebook and I couldn't fucking upload any of my content or anything. And they were flagging me for copyright. I had to write them a certified letter or whatever saying, I'm Dusty Grant. I write Dusty Grant's music. Dusty Grant's songs are Dusty Grant. And I'm Dusty, you know, like I had to literally, they had a way that it had to be worded and they finally unflagged it or whatever. But this time around, I'm like, I'm going to give myself like 3 extra weeks. It's way more than I thought, and it's making me incredibly antsy, but I also feel a lot more comfortable because I've had a chance to sit here and look back and forth, make sure this is right, make sure spell check that, dude. Because you know what? If you submit a Facebook ad and there's a typo on that bitch,
they won't post it, man.
No. Or if they do post it, you have to edit it and then you have to resubmit it. And you might have a song released on all your platforms and you're hoping for this thing and people might not even see it for 3 days.
Yeah.
And so you're like, it's out there. So it makes it look like it's doing nothing. And it's like, it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I've set all these expectations for myself. And every time I release something, it's different. Like they change the format of what you have to upload. You know, business manager becomes pages manager and this and that. And then you got to download this fucking app to, what are we doing here?
You couple that with all the monotony of you stare at the same thing all day. You can't see it anymore. You're like looking past it, you know, and Jason will type something up like just right before we got here, you know, you had the website wrong, but it's just little shit like that. You could look right at it and you don't see it because you're not, you know, you've just blurred your vision to it because you've looked at it so much, you know. And
I get the eye roll sometimes from like friends or from my wife or from my stepdaughter or whatever. I'm like, I'm not asking you to critique the content itself. I'm like, just look at it and see if there's anything screwed up.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at this goddamn thing on my computer for 4 hours and I think I got it how I want it. But I'm not, because I'm fried now. Look at
fried. Yeah. But it's the same thing with recording though, too. I mean, we recorded the album and literally the next day after we get the masters back, Jason's like, well, this is wrong. Well, that's wrong. This is wrong.
Well, that's because I got into the mix. Well, we started building click tracks for our light show. And once I started opening up the sessions that were finished, that were sent off to mastering, we like got fucking guitars that are kind of panned incorrectly, too hard edit here, just dumb little shit that like
Mikey played one wrong note on the bass.
Mikey played one, it, but yeah. I mean,
well, but you hear it, and there is something. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like glossy, really well produced stuff or really technical check. Because even whether or not I like the songs or whatever it is, I like to think about what all went into that. Not even talking about what all went into them recording that and how did they layer that and how did they do that shit. And like it's such a complicated process. And I think even if you're not a music nerd where that note is a little bit off key or I think subconsciously as a listener, something happens to you in your brain that might make you not like that as much as if it was on pitch, that one little note. Because I think if you hear those weird things in something that you're listening to, you're like, fuck this. Something subconsciously happens to you. You're like, that dude just left it.
Yeah.
And as a guy who has just left a lot of shit, I listen back to it now and I'm like, oh, you should.
Yeah. I worry about that stuff too, because sometimes, you capture the raw original version and it's the one that, embodies all the passion and everything, and it's like, if you go fix it all perfect, have you just, taken away from the genuineness of it, with Nick's vocals. I know that we had some spots like that where, he didn't get to re-record the album 3 times like I did, So
yeah.
He got 2 times.
He got 2 times, but now he's like, just the other night at practice, he's like, when we do this live, I like to do it just a little bit different because I can breathe better,
Well, and like you, especially with vocals, I feel, but I think on every performance when you're recording in the studio, if the passion is there, like it translates to the recording.
Yeah.
I can play it perfectly with no emotion, and then I can play it kind of sloppy with a ton of emotion. And most people would probably like the one with more emotion just because it felt more genuine to them. So that's like a fine line that we walk, guys, especially in metal, a lot of the metal stuff, it has to be precise.
Yes.
That is a challenge.
Yeah. That conversation gets had a lot too about click tracks and drummers, does it feel natural, if you're playing to a click? And I've heard that.
So do you play to a click all the time or not at all? Or
no, all the time. Well, so Parallax I do, yes. My rock and roll band Easy Killer I don't. So
okay. Jason, do you use DI guitars? So the people that are listening out there, we've got some musicians in the chats here asking questions. And if this stuff is a little bit over your head, I'm going to try to speak to you in layman's terms about what these questions are, so you can follow along with the show. But somebody that's watching live on Twitch is asking, do you use direct in guitars or just mic'd cabs? So basically what that means is, are you plugging the guitar directly into the computer to record it? Or are you recording a mic that's hooked up to your amp? For the people out there that are might not be familiar with
right on. Yeah, so I do both, man.
Yeah.
I always get a DI capture just because even if you're really working hard to get that right sound out of the cab, sometimes you get into a mix situation where that mic tone just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where those DI guitars come in handy. With this particular recording, we did a DI, and then I used a 421 like this and an AKG 609 on guitars. So I would double mic a cab and then used an EVH 5153 head for all the heavy tones. Some of it was cut through my Helix rack. But on
so
the
it's hybrid.
Yeah, it's very hybrid. On the guitars, most of the guitars are the actual mic guitars with some DI guitars dropped in here and there.
Gotcha.
They just to add a little extra layering and stuff like that.
So tell me this is I'm a complete novice with recording. Is there some form of sorcery involved in mixing? Because sometimes I can have all my settings the exact fucking same, and I can sit in the exact same spot. Like if I come down to work on a demo or something, and I can be sitting in the exact same spot with the settings the exact same. And some days it does not sound as good as it does other days.
You know, I don't know.
Maybe it's just myself, me being shitty.
Ear fatigue or something, man.
It could be. I mean, I remember actually mixing on this album, whatever the first song that we ended.
When you're sick, every minute counts. So don't go anywhere. Go to dispatchhealth.com, where high-quality medical care comes directly to you. No getting out of a sick bed. No crazy driving to an emergency room. No endless paperwork. No hospital waiting rooms. Visit dispatchhealth.com to learn about our medical professionals, then make house calls. Dispatch Health is covered by Medicare and most major insurance. Go to dispatchhealth.com. When you're sick, every minute counts. So don't go anywhere. Go to dispatchhealth.com, where high-quality medical care comes directly to you. No getting out of a sick bed. No crazy driving to an emergency room. No endless paperwork. No hospital waiting rooms. Visit dispatchhealth.com to learn about our medical professionals, then make house calls. Dispatch Health is covered by Medicare and most major insurance. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
Up getting a full mix on, I would, you know, in Pro Tools, I'd open up a new session for the next song and I would just import the mix session. And technically they have the exact same amount of tracks, same drums, same guitar tone, all of that shit. And it sounded completely wrecked. I mean, it would be like drums would be too loud, vocals would be on top, guitars weren't even there. But I'm not sure, man. I don't know.
I have like a kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it. I kind of have like a template for the audio editing for this podcast. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I've gotten a little bit nerdy with, you know, editing waves. And, you know, I'm kind of dipping my toe in the water there to try and make it sound as good as I can.
Yeah.
And I leave things the same. And I have settings on my audio editing program that are the exact same as the last one we use. But it's you guys are sitting a different distance from a mic and you're using two mics and your connection's different. And there's all these things that are happening. And I'm like, I have to put compression on it. And then I go through, and sometimes I have to go through, and every time you guys talk, I have to raise the level every time. And I'm editing I'm editing 1 hour of waves, and I'm like, God, they were just a little bit quiet.
Yeah. I have to do that on vocals all the time.
Oh
yeah.
You know, vocalists are, especially emotional type vocalists, they're very inconsistent as far as like how, you know, no, I wouldn't say inconsistent. They're meaning to do it, but you know, you'll have those dips and valleys and shit with vocal lines that, I mean, you kind of got to bring them up to level, at least with the other levels, and then you can comp it down and it all kind of sounds like one thing. But
yeah, it's so weird, like editing of a talking conversation. You know, I never thought I would ever be doing something like that. And then I listened to my first couple episodes, and I hit up a friend of mine, Derek Relaford, that does podcasts and stuff. And I'm like, how does this sound? He's like, bro, you need to edit the quality of your audio. And then I listened to some other podcasts and I listened to the quality of it, and I was like, God damn, mine sounds like shit. And my apologies to my first few guests. You know what I mean? But you really have to live and learn. You know, you really do. I ended up having to make an investment to buy a program to be able to edit stuff to make it sound good for people. But I swear there's some sort of sorcery, dude, because I try to leave my shit on like autopilot plug and play to make it easy. And every time I do a podcast, there's something different. There's something that I got to tweak, something that I got to change, there's always a snag. And I honestly feel like now that I'm getting a little bit more experience doing it, and I'm sure it's the same way when you're recording music, like I kind of enjoy those challenges. I'm like, all right, let's test this out and see what the fuck's going on. And like, as a sound engineer, I'm sure that's the fun part of your job.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of producing, Jason, or do you mostly record what the band wants to record and that's that?
I have a handful of bands that well, you know, when I bring a band in, it's kind of decided before they come in whether or not I'm going to have a hand in that, you know. I'm always open to it. It seems like the stuff that I have more to say about, like as far as the production side of it, is always like rock bands or something like that. Like I haven't really had another metal band in besides our band.
Yeah,
actually produce. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, for the most part, I'm an engineer, you know what I mean? I'm being paid to engineer a session, and then I get paid to, mix it and stuff like that. But
do you get a lot of people butthurt? Do you get a lot of butthurt in the studio?
Not me technically.
I mean, not you, but I mean like the bands that you're working with. Like if you tell somebody like, "Hey, bro, that was off key," do they get, "Look, that was fucking perfect, bro"?
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen too often.
That's good.
Not as much as you would think.
It happens a lot in Parallax.
That's different when you're working with your band and guys that you know and you have experience around.
Like, Nick, that sounded like shit.
You can do better.
You'd be like, here, fucking play my part then.
You do it.
Yeah, we used to have that thing where like when I would be writing with Wes and John, it almost became sometimes like an ego trip, and I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to say that this is shitty. I'm like, I'm saying it's cool. I want to work on it. I'm like, but can we drop like maybe 8 measures of shredding out of this part? Your average listener may not be hip to that shit or whatever. And sometimes it'd be like, no, this is the part that I wrote. I'm like, all right, well, then I'm not going to sing. Yeah. It's like you get a little bit immature with your ego and stuff like that. Yeah. And I think the studio is a pressure cooker too. Like I think what happens is if you're not prepared, you go in the studio and a lot of insecurity starts to come out. And I've been in the studio in bands with people that were not ready and they did not put in the work that they should have put in. And then they get in there and they get insecure and uncomfortable and completely out of their element and they can't fucking deliver and it's costing them money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's you have to be ready when you go in,
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, Parallax has been in a really sweet spot lately. Over the last couple of years, it's been Jason and I jamming, or on the nights the other guys can't make it to the practice, we're jamming, and then it's all been falling together really naturally, and it hasn't been like a huge ordeal,
it's probably just comfort, right? I mean, you guys are used to jamming with each other. It's just a comfortable thing.
It's probably come together a little bit, because this is our second band together, so that's probably part of it. But even like Mikey's bass parts, man, it's just Jason always has ideas about bass parts, but other than that, he knows what he needs to do. He knows what frequency he's trying to fill, and
well, I remember that Jason filled in for Empire Falling a couple times on bass, actually.
Oh yeah.
And we sent him tracks, and I was like, because with my experience of people that we were auditioning, like there isn't a person in fucking town that can play this shit. I'm like, based off the people that we've auditioned, now I know better. There's a ton of guys in town that could play that stuff and are actual real musicians. But like we were trying people out over and I'm like, these guys are lost, dude. Nobody's going to be able to get it. And then we sent Jason the tracks, and 2 days later, I think it was, he came over and he's like, I just had one question. Okay, we're good. I was like, oh, that's what it's like.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, I'm old school, man. Like if you're going out for a gig, you better learn that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you should show up and know everything that they sent you. That's what I would want. Like I would expect, if I was trying out a fucking guitar player and he showed up to play our set with us and could only play through half of a song, he wouldn't be in the band. He'd be fucked. It was like when I was going to try out for your band, Orchids. Yeah.
Because I think that was when we first met, actually. Yeah. I think you'd seen a video of me at the very early stages of when we were Empire Falls, before we knew that was a white power band.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Do you remember that?
I do. I remember I was designing a CD layout for him, and I was looking up artwork, to get influence or something like that, and I came across a band called Empire Falls, and they were total 100% white power.
The skinheads.
It was bad.
Dude,
I was like, Esty, you should probably check this out.
Well, dude, it stung us twice until we finally changed the name, because we booked a gig in a town. I'm not gonna say, I don't want to, but and I think they were expecting the other Empire Falls.
Oh no.
we went up there and played our metalcore shit, and everyone left, and the sound guy bailed, and like they turned the shit. I almost got in a fight with the bar. Like it was not good. And then another time we submitted to play a show, and it was around here, and the lady was like, "No, we don't host your kind of bands in here." I'm like, "You have metal bands that are all the time," and she's like, "Well, we don't have white power bands here." And I was like, what? And so I went on YouTube, and Empire Falls, no shit. And I'm not trying to give them any publicity at all because fuck them, but they have a video that has like a significant amount of views. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, guys, we're changing the name.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Yesterday. Because this is not, it was a very strange, but when I was trying out for Parallax, or not Parallax, but Orchids. And it never actually happened because I think you guys decided to disband it or table it for a while or whatever. And like, I never ended up auditioning, but I can sincerely remember spending, the week leading up to that, like getting off work, being alone, sitting at a table, listening to the tracks, writing, practicing. And I was fucking nervous. I'm like, these are new guys in town. I don't know them. They don't know me. Whatever. I liked the recordings. They sounded really good at, and I was like, oh, these guys take it seriously. I could tell, by the way you approached me and by the way you sent me the stuff.
Right.
So I busted my fucking ass for that. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, God damn it. I just wrote 4 songs. I'm not even gonna use it. But whatever, it happens in the band situation. So I can't imagine the nerves going into a scenario like that and not being prepared.
Yeah, for real.
What is going through your
worse
head?
for you? Yeah, it's just going to be worse for you if you show up unprepared. You're not going to get the gig.
Yeah. What? And I've tried out for a couple gigs where I had, I actually tried out for Seasons After, before they did anything, but I wasn't ready at that time.
Right.
I was just figuring out that I kind of wanted to sing, and I was just kind of finding my voice and all that stuff. And I auditioned. They're like, dude, we really like you, but we don't feel like you're there yet. Do you want to? I was like, no, I'm not going to hold you guys back. I'm not ready for the level that you guys are at. And I could tell that. But that gave me something to aspire to work towards. Like, you need to be ready at all times, dude, because you never know when an opportunity may hit you. And I think a lot of these guys that go out and try out for bands and try to put projects together may not understand the level of commitment that it takes to do something and being to do what you guys are doing, to put out an album, to gig, to record yourselves, like the work that goes into it, the experience that goes into it. And sometimes I think these people that don't take it so seriously kind of muddy the waters for us, us old cagey veterans.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, because you're trying to book gigs and they think you're a singer-songwriter, and the last singer-songwriter they had in there didn't practice and played a bunch of covers for an hour, and they think that's what you're going to do. You guys still with me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Okay. You guys just froze up. I thought maybe you were gone. I'll fix that in post. I'm a professional.
Hell yeah, fix it in post.
Yeah, you went all Max Headroom again, but it's all good.
Yeah. You took the blue pill, right?
Yeah, it's the thing with
the pill or the blue pill.
It's the thing with recording live. It's kind of the thing where it's gunsling and you don't really know what's going to happen with connections or any of that kind of. But it just makes it fun. So talk about the release party, man. What's going on with releasing this beast of yours?
We're going to actually play a show.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I hope we remember how.
The last time we played a show was with you last year.
Yeah.
Kenny's birthday party.
Yeah. That was the Ultimate Warrior party.
Yeah. The ultimate Kenny's ultimate birthday bash.
Yeah.
We did, I think, actually, hilariously enough, when Kenny was booking this year, before he had Matt put the show together for him, he had hit me up in the middle of the night and was like, dude, let's do the exact same lineup as last year for my birthday party. And I was like, motherfucker, you want to do that because you don't remember half the fucking show last year. And he's like, yeah, it'll be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I think Shane and Buana did that one with me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Randall Conrad.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's something I'm definitely missing. I was a little bit sad when you and I talked, and I was like, what's the date? Oh, I got family.
Oh, yeah. It would have been great to have you on the release show.
I wish I could have. I wish I could have been. Dude, one thing I really have started to embrace is it's weird, but I've been getting booked with a lot of metal acts and hard rock acts and stuff, and I'm like, I'm a wimpy acoustic guy, man.
It's
but
your attitude, though.
Yeah.
Man.
I like being
attitude.
on the bill. You know, I like being like. It breaks the ice well. You go up there and you're like, well, I'm the pussy with the acoustic guitar.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna go play
we were looking for some diversity, man. I mean, you could go have four loud ass metal bands all on the same show. It's cool, but we were just trying to get some diversity. So
yeah. So sometimes it's I think sometimes it's better. I think a lot of people rail against those like multi-genre shows, but the ones that I've been a part of have been pretty awesome, actually. Like the metalheads seem to be cool with the acoustic guys, and the acoustic people seem to be cool. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe people are a little more supportive of artists these days, because I think a lot of people now that they haven't been to a concert in over a year are starting to realize that a lot of live music and stuff was taken for granted.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I'm for the first time in a long time as a musician, it's like, I actually feel like maybe what I'm doing right now might have a tinge of value to somebody.
Right.
You know, and I'm not expecting to fucking have a private jet here anytime soon or anything like that. Sure. But I'm like, I feel like continuing to make connections with people and all that during the time has been good. So getting you guys on and being able to talk about the record and, you know, just catching up. It's like, I haven't hung out with you guys in person since last year, you know?
Oh, unless you count that cold ass parking lot yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, my bones hurt so bad. When I got back in the van from talking to you for like 5 minutes, I was like literally dying.
Well, you handed me the CD and we were talking, and I was standing there and I was like, I was like shivering. So I was like, I would be tired, like, and I was trying not to like be a pussy about it, but I'm like, I wonder if Jason's as cold as me.
Oh man, I was dying.
In the fucking car.
I think I shivered all the way home. Yeah, Clayton worked outside all day.
I've been outside the last 2 days, man. It's been pretty awesome.
You've been outside the last 2 days doing what?
Framing a room edition.
Oh, God. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's I was telling the boys the other day, sometimes it's nice just to like man up and just be a beast and just sludge through it, you know. And it's not like, I mean, this year's been beautiful, so working outside has been, you know, a luxury for the most part. But these last couple of days, I mean, my mustache has had icicles in it, and, you know, it's been a little rugged, but
snot sickles.
It's fun.
Have you worked through the whole? Have you guys? I mean, Jason, you've obviously worked through the whole thing pretty much. But were you guys working through the whole thing, Clayton?
My business, yeah. Lucky, you know, we got deemed essential just because, you know, construction is sometimes you're working on people's fire escapes to their house, and
right,
you know, their ability to stay warm or stay cool or.
Yeah, you take your job for granted a little bit, I think, and then you know, mine, I'm essential. I work in the food business, and so I haven't missed a fucking day.
I haven't either. Yeah,
it's like, oh well, I guess I'm working. Is it dangerous here?
Yeah, is it?
It's tough shit, buddy. You're going to work.
Tough shit. That's right.
And I was done for 2 months.
What's that?
I said I was off work for 2 months. I think.
Yeah.
Were you?
From March to May.
You had some people cancel too, didn't you?
I had a lot of people cancel just when COVID really hit and stuff like that. So, well, and I still to this day I get lots of cancellations just because of COVID. So,
it's changed the game, man. It's changed the way everybody thinks about everything. You know, especially for me, my biggest focus before was like, I want to play as many live shows in as many places as I can this year.
Yeah.
And try to do 40 or 50 shows a year. And I did it for, 3 years, and I hit 7 states, and it was fun. And I gained I needed that experience, you know? But now it's like, I don't know how aggressively I want to get out there and do shows, because things can change so quickly, and you can take all this money and effort and everything to put it in, and then it gets canceled. And that's what happened to me last year. Like I put out Up From Here, and I was like guns blazing. I'm like, I'm going to play 50 shows this year. I'm gonna be obsessed. I'm just gonna people are gonna be
your merch and
and here it all sits back on my fucking.
You ain't selling shit.
I had to build shelves down here for all the merch that I didn't sell because I didn't go the road. You know, it's just a shit sandwich, and it's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna start a podcast or something.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know, and it strangely has been a very interesting way to kind of keep engaged, I guess. I'm still able to meet musicians, and I'm still able to kind of satiate that, you know, that I still get a little bit nervous before I go live every time. And you know, you're meeting a lot of people, and sometimes I go on live with people that I've never met before. And it's like, they come in 5 minutes before the stream starts. We don't know anything about each other. I'm like, is this banner look good? Okay, going live.
Yeah. Well, even with our CD release that's coming up, I mean, we've had reservations about like were we still going to do it? We're going to cancel it, and you know, are we going to do a live stream for people that don't want to go? You know, we've got backup plans, we've got everything. You know, it's just the world we live in. You know, and if you know, something were to happen and we weren't able to do it, we wouldn't even be surprised at this point. You know, it'd just be like 2021. Yeah. Not much different than 2020.
I remember the first show I canceled was a show in Tulsa in March of last year. And like, I was fucking agonizing over it because they were still going to do the show. But I was working in a place where I work with people that, you know, may have some health compromise. You know, I work in an office with some older people. Yeah. I work in an office with some people with some heart conditions, with some, you know, diabetes, some stuff like that. And I was like, you know, knowing that we don't know anything, it's pretty fucking irresponsible for me to just travel somewhere and play a concert. Yeah. But I agonized over canceling it. It was the first time I ever canceled a show. I was like, I agonized over it, and then it got easier and easier and easier. 15 shows in, I was like, cancel. Yeah. Cancel. Putting my sweatpants on. See you guys in the basement.
Yeah, for real.
We have to adapt, man. Yeah. You're adapting. That's what
the night we took advantage of the time, so I don't really feel like we wasted last year. You know, we
wrote an album.
We put out an album that we're really proud of, and you know,
you should be. It's fucking awesome, guys. I've listened to it a lot. And I admire the guys that have not just laid down, because I know I see some people that I'm friends with and stuff that have just been like, this whole thing has just I've just lost my creativity. I've lost my desire. I've lost my interest in it. Until shit's normal, I ain't even going to think about it.
Yeah. We've had a couple pep talks, you know, it's like, man, you know, our mentality is just a little bit twisted right now. You know, we don't have any of the, you know, the performance, like, payback, you know, all hard work, and we've been grinding through the whole thing. We built this whole light show, we've shot a music video, we did it all. You know, we're such a DIY band, and we do it all ourselves that, I mean, it's tons of work, and we haven't had a whole lot of reward here lately. So you just kind of got to remind yourself, you know,
you get the reward when you put music out too. Yeah, you know, when you put it out and to hear that with one person it resonates, or anything like that, you do kind of get some of it back, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same as playing a show. It's not the
playing a show is really satisfying.
Yeah.
But you know, we try to stay focused on, it's the product, man. We're trying to make music that makes us happy, that makes us proud of, you know, our performance, and you know, the rest of it, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, I like I said, I'm turning 40 in a couple of days, but I mean, I don't plan on ever stopping.
Same.
You know, I didn't pick up.
What the fuck?
Oh shit!
What happened?
Oh, apparently my phone wants to answer phone calls from people. Or I mean, my computer. Are you there? Hi. You probably never lost this. My screen just went completely.
Who's on with us?
Yeah.
And I'd like you guys to meet Jason's grandma.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We say fuck a lot here. Be careful.
My family knows that.
Like, don't you think what happens to you when you're making, I guess when you start to figure out your identity as an artist or a musician, you start to figure it out, and you're like, this is the music I want to write. This is the music I want to play. This is the music that feels good for me. This is the project that works good for me. And I think a lot of musicians, myself included, spend a ton of time searching for what is my voice? What is my niche? Where do I fit into this whole fucking thing? And like, why am I complicating this for myself so much? But it took me forever, man. And like, I don't feel like I've found my stride yet. So I'm like you. It's like, people, man, you're almost 40. I'm like, I'm almost 40, dude. I got 40 more years of this shit.
Yeah, for real. It's never going away. I didn't like decide to be a musician in my late 20s or anything. Like, I've literally been a musician my entire life.
Yeah. I really started. I mean, I was always like a fanatic of music. And then once I was about 19, I really started digging in and writing my own stuff. And playing. But I don't feel as if it's something that I have a choice about anymore. Yeah. If I go a couple days without playing my guitar, I'm like, all right, I have to make time today to sit down on my guitar.
I'm a miserable son of a bitch if I don't have music as an outlet. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I had 45 minutes to myself last night at the house, and I've got 4 kids, so you can understand. And I've got twin boys that are 4 years old, and you can imagine, and I work full time, and it's like, I don't get a lot of time alone in the house, but I got home from work yesterday. I'm like, all my shit's done. All my release stuff's done. My list is cool until release day. Podcast stuff is done. I'm like, I have 45 minutes of nothing to do. And I walked down into my studio and I grabbed my guitar and I'm like, I missed you so much. And I didn't work on anything. I didn't work on a fucking thing. I didn't rehearse a thing. I didn't try to write. I didn't sit down and play warm-ups. I just picked it up and played that bitch for 45 minutes. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Feels so good.
No, we grind hard, man. We run the set. We run it in its entirety. We run it, sometimes we run it like trying to be technical and tight. Sometimes we run it for strength and conditioning. It's hard work. There's a meme out there that's like the 4 pictures. It's like, this is what my mom thinks I do. This is what the world thinks I do. This is what my friends think this is what I actually do. I fucking practice all the damn time.
It's all you can do. I don't think people understand like the monotony of it. Especially when I was gigging heavily, I'm like, I've got this set list. I'm going to stick with this set list. I might switch out a cover or something or whatever, but this is kind of what I'm going with. And I'm playing through that same shit. When I'm playing a lot of shows, I'm playing through my set twice a day. Yeah. If I can make time for it. And you know how sick of fucking This Longing Heart I am, dude? It was the first song I put out in 2017. It's the first solo song I've ever written. I probably played that motherfucker like, I don't know. How many times have I played it? I don't know. It's been 4 years. It's like, man, I'm sick of this stuff. But you have to do it to go out and put on a good show, because if you're not comfortable, you're worried about what you're playing and you're not worried about playing the song. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So we have hit an hour, which this felt very short, but we are at an hour. So tell me, how can people connect with Parallax? How can people check out the album? This is your opportunity to plug the hell out of
Tinder, bro.
It's a commercial.
Find us on Tinder.
Find Clayton on Tinder.
Find Clayton on Tinder. He's king Tinder.
Hold on. We're getting another fucking mysterious call.
They're probably record labels calling to sign you guys after
seeing it. You know it.
Yeah, so our album, man, you can pre-order the album on our website, parallaxmetal.com/store.
It's like $10.
$10 for the album. You can go to our Bandcamp page. Basically, you can find us anywhere on the internet at Parallax Metal. That's our tag.
And you've got new single dropping Friday.
What's that?
You got a new single dropping Friday, and you've got a new record dropping.
Yep, on February 20th. We love the album. It's actually, for me personally, the album is the album that I've been trying to make since 1994 or some shit like that. Like, I finally have a band of dudes that we all fucking are. We know what to fucking do. There's man.
No excuses. People actually enjoy going to practice and rehearsing and writing and
It's amazing what happens.
So it's like with that makes us the most excited to put it out into people's hands, because like everybody involved with the making of this album actually gave a fuck the whole time, through the whole thing.
The single coming out might be the reason we re-recorded too. The toms on it are fucking huge.
I gotta say Descent is probably my favorite track on the record.
Probably the catchiest.
It is, and I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a good hook, Clayton.
I tried out like 3 different fucking drum heads to get the toms to sound good on that shit.
Well, you succeeded. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. Everyone that tuned in, thank you so much.
Yeah,
thanks, Dusty.
Of course, man. If you guys are out there listening and didn't catch the whole episode, you can catch the podcast on all different platforms. It's pretty much everywhere. If you can't find it, you're not looking hard enough. Parallax, thank you guys so much. I wish you the best of luck with your record. We are release buddies on Friday. Thanks, Friday, we're both releasing music, and I wish nothing but success for you. I appreciate you guys taking the minute, and I just thank you for coming on. It's been awesome.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having us, dude.
Right on. Well, you guys take care. That is episode 13 in the books of DG and Friends. We'll see you next time. Stay away from mainstream media. Drink a beer, lighten up, and listen to some fucking Parallax. Have a good evening, everybody.
Later.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice to be notified of new episodes, and leave a positive review if you dig what you're hearing. Guys, I would love to hear from you on social media. Let's get connected at DustyGrant57 on all platforms. All right, y'all, that's it for now. See you next time on DG and Friends.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
This podcast is brought to you by Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce. A great sauce starts with the best ingredients. Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is that great sauce. Inspired by our founder's original recipe, Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is made with delicious ingredients, including vine-ripened tomatoes, chopped onions, garlic, and olive oil, simmered together for the authentic taste you and your family will want to come back to. For recipes, sauces, and mealtime inspiration, visit ragu.com.